is up, everybody? Today we have a Pop the Top for you. We have Maker's Mark. I almost said RC6. It is the FAE-02, FAE-02. So, spoiler alert, we have actually already tasted this. Nick over here got a bottle. Two,
because I have no self-control when it comes to the Maker's Limited Release.
They're so good, and they're actually semi-attainable, which it makes them even better.
Right. And retail, they're 60 to 70 bucks.
Right.
And they're, like I said, they're not...
You ready for this?
Like, oh. It was not a bad one.
Not bad at all.
Like, they're not plentiful, right? But there's enough around, relatively easy to find.
They are semi-attainable. Some states, obviously, better or worse than others.
Sure.
But, I mean, we've gone into stores and seen multiples of these
on the shelf,
sitting on the shelf at retail.
Right.
So,
and they're
not impossible.
They're kind of one of the slept-on limited releases.
Yeah, for sure.
Every year, and I hope it stays that way forever. So if you're watching this episode, don't.
You can just stop now.
So they're all at barrel proof. This is 109.1, which is a little bit higher than some of their recent ones. They seem to be in the 106 to 108. This is 10 virgin toasted French oak staves. All of their limited releases are effectively, I guess, proprietary stave blend.
Right. I wonder, do they work with like Kelvin Cooperage or Independent Stave Company?
I think it's Independent Stave that they do.
I feel like it is. Independent Stave does all. I mean, Kelvin does also.
Right.
Both of those Cooperages are on another level.
Yeah.
So the color on that, fantastic. Nice dark.
It is dark and beautiful, and
so I noticed that too. Like when I saw pictures of it first, I was like, "That's really dark."
Right.
Like,
yeah,
noticeably darker than the one before it.
But I'd say that's probably a shade to shade and a half darker than the FAE01.
Yes.
You can also see they've inverted the colors on the label, which I thought was neat.
So on this, I'm getting. So spoiler alert, like I said, we tasted this back at the office. We opened Nick's bottle. I opened Nick's bottle, actually.
He opened he was so nice to open my bottle.
Nick is always usually so nice to open my bottles when they arrive, so I was like, hey, payback.
I mean, to be fair, I would have opened it on my own.
I knew you would have. Straight up brown sugar.
Yeah.
Just
dark brown sugar.
Brown sugar and molasses.
Dark caramel, like
honey.
Yeah.
Like a nice dark honey.
This has so many
burnt sugar,
dark complex flavors in it. The Maker's Mark limited releases always blow me away. I have not had one that I have not absolutely been head over heels for. I'm a big Maker's fan. Like,
I've had one that I was like, meh. Like, it was good, don't get me wrong. It was really good. Like, I'm not upset about buying it whatsoever. But it was just not as favorite as the other ones. What?
I'm questioning our friendship right now. How dare you?
I know.
Say anything but the highest of praises for the Maker's limited release. But the RC6, SE4 PR5, then FAE01, and now FAE02.
I think it was the SE4 PR5 that I was like...
It was a very different profile to the RC6.
And like I said, it wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination.
It was a genuinely good whiskey, for sure.
All right.
See, even the ring is good with this stuff.
Cheers, guys.
Get that nice warmth, some of that heat.
Leather, more brown sugar.
Absolutely.
More molasses, some dark caramel burnt sugar.
Some tobacco leaves.
Barrel char.
Like a dusty rickhouse.
Oak. I think I said leather, tobacco, like...
It is all
that stuff.
Right. There's
Almost
nothing
no
light.
fruity.
It's all dark.
Almost no fruity.
And they do, in fact, say that on the back of the label.
That everything's dark.
On the back of the bottle. It says the first release, FAE01, is fruit forward with more focus on barrel extractives. The second release, FAE02, is texture focused to really highlight the Maker's Mark mouthfeel. It's It's round, creamy, and mouth coating.
Well, now I feel like I have to pay more attention to the mouthfeel.
And I can say with 100% certainty, the way it coats your mouth is very different than the first release from this year. It is a super oily, creamy texture.
Very thick and oily.
Right.
That's not an exaggeration.
No. And that really shows, like, with the legs. Like, they just don't do much.
No,
they hang out, and they're there to stay. They play for keeps.
If you like that dark, savory profile,
this is not only up your alley, this is, in fact, your entire alley.
It is. The whole thing.
Right. Like, there's a building here and a building here, and here's your alley.
Right.
It is so different from the first one from this year. So different. The first one was lighter, not only in color, but in flavor. Right.
Uh-huh.
There's more in the bottle. You can pour yourself more. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And it's so drinkable.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is just fan-freaking-tastic. Makers, keep up the awesome work with this, please.
Golf clap for you. Golf clap.
And they put out 2 of them this year.
Which, I got that email.
2021.
So I am a Maker's Mark ambassador.
I as well.
And so I get the emails when they send out updates, and I saw the email that came out earlier this year saying that they were going to be doing 2 this year, and I squealed like a little girl.
I heard them from my office. That's a true story.
It's not an exaggeration. I was real excited. In fact, I'm pretty sure I texted him like right away. I was like, Makers is doing 2. No, I've been through at least 3 bottles of every release they've done since 2017.
Which again shows you they are attainable.
Right.
Like, you may have to hunt a little bit, but they're out there.
Everybody's got friends in multiple states.
That's right. Talk to your friends.
Right. Friends, family, cousins, whatever. Be like, hey, send them a picture of it. Be like, hey, keep an eye out for this if you find it. I would have 0 issues paying $95 for that bottle. Yeah. No problem. And in a couple of months when most of them have been sold, and if there's one on the shelf for $125 and I don't have any, I'm not gonna complain about paying it.
Yeah.
Right. They're that good, and I know I'm going to enjoy the entire bottle start to finish.
Yeah.
I have more bottles of Makers than I do of any other distillery.
Somehow I don't doubt that. Mine is 4 roses.
I have 46 cast strength. I have a couple of different of their limited releases. I have their 101, which is
46 cast strength.
The 46 to cast strength. I have a couple of private select store picks. Their 101 is fantastic.
It is.
It's so good.
Spot on.
So good.
Spot on.
But like I don't have like a big whiskey cabinet or anything. I have like kitchen cabinets. And one shelf in one of the cabinets is nothing but Makers.
I believe that.
It's just that good. I can't stop myself. And I don't feel bad about it.
But yeah, no, I mean for real, like Makers, keep up the awesome work. You guys are knocking it out of the park.
Absolutely.
Cannot wait for next year. I hope that you do 2 again next year. That would be awesome.
Even if you do 1, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in for
we're in, but like
in for a penny, in for a pound.
That's right.
So
appreciate you guys, and Patreon members, as always, love you guys to death. Love your guts, miss your faces, all that kind of stuff. So isn't that good?
It's so good.
It's like the more you put in your mouth, the better it is.
Yeah. So
that's not what she said.
So this is 10 French oak staves.
Mm-hmm.
This is 10 virgin toasted American oak staves. So
the French oak is a more robust,
it's a bolder,
darker, bolder flavor, which I appreciate.
So it's super interesting because like Makers all starts with the same distillate.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have a different mash bill or anything like that.
It's a wheated mash bill, and it is their mash bill.
Right, and they differentiate by staves,
mm-hmm.
and you can go and do different things, and so each of their limited releases has a specific stave profile. And what's interesting about these 2 is the difference between what the American oak versus the French oak does to the flavor profile.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
beautiful.
Faux show.
So I'm done rambling, I promise.
Okay. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Like I said, makers, keep knocking it out of the park. And until Friday noon Central next week, cheers and drink blind.
Drink makers. No, really. Do it.
True story. We want to give a huge shout out to all of our Patreon people. Absolutely thank you. You guys are freaking magical. T-shirts at Teespring, link in the description.
Also, thank you to anyone who has ever supported us, whether that's either coming on a live, chit-chatting with us on a Thursday night, or if you just like to watch our episodes, we appreciate every one of you.
Until Friday noon Central next